Hi everyone, this is Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, and we are at the end of this fight. Youth with Dio, Part 5, finale. Also known as the longest fight fought during one single fall from a couple stories. So Jojo tackled Dio off this balcony, and we begin the long struggle as they attempt to out manga each other to see who wins. We got this very interesting. I don't know if this is the translator Viz's fault, but in manga it can be difficult to figure out what's the narrator's voice and what's the actual character's voice. So, for example, this is a manga thought bubble. So it's basically a single circle with these slash lines out there to create the boundary, and this is Jonathan's monologuing internally. This is a narrator. So I don't know necessarily if this was originally how Araki wrote it, but just so you know, this is narration, this is internal monologuing, aka thought bubbles, right? So here Dio is talking to himself, and he's like, "Oh, the fires below me are so strong that even my invulnerable body might not be able to take it." Right, but he, thigh masters Jonathan, breaks a bunch of his ribs, grabs the wall, kicks him off, and you get the infamous "Bye bye, Jojo." So Jonathan basically goes second level manga, grabs the spear that got impaled into him recently. Why does it look like it's a rocket in this? Araki! So he grabs this spike, smashes it into the wall, is able to stop himself from falling into the flames. How tall is his mansion, by the way? Flip himself up and jump up after Dio. And in the middle of his jump, he realizes he didn't jump high enough and manages to pull his belt out in what had to have been literally microseconds. Wrap his belt around Dio's foot and grab a hold of him, right? And then you get a great scene right here. This works really well in anime, even though it's still just as ridiculous as the manga, mainly because the voice actors in the anime are freaking amazing. But this kono knifeu, this knife, he freaking stabs him with the knife that he stabbed his father with. You get a great panel right here. Dio breaks his arms, and continuing again the longest fall ever recorded in anime, or manga I should say. So they fall together, and Dio's like, okay, fine, let's test how freaking invulnerable I am, but I know you're gonna die. Unbeknownst to Dio, Jonathan thought ahead, and he's flying into this spike right here. He did this kick off the wall to get himself to that position. Dio gets absolutely impaled. By the way, really good art, even though the visual storytelling still makes no sense in a lot of parts. Still, gotta respect Araki for the effort he put in this. Very good detailing with black and white style, right? And he gets impaled on the goddess of love and burned alive. Very, very, very appropriate death for Dio. Death. And here outside the mansion, Ario Speedwagon's looking on, looking at Mr. Joestar, and you get him wondering what happened to Jonathan. Jonathan crashes out of the window, makes out heavily injured, burnt to a crisp, but victorious, right? Luck was on Jojo's side in two ways. First of all, Dio's body functioned as a cushion, reducing Jojo's impact. Secondly, he was thrown in the direction of a window. So this is narration, and one of the things you'll notice about Araki is he has a fondness for the old American techniques. So almost all of Araki's works have both narration and thought bubbles. Right, just done in the manga style, but they're very reminiscent of the old American style, and that's because of it heavily influenced Araki's style on these books. So here, even though there's so many manga tropes in his thing, it's very, very, very shonen. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is extremely shonen. he still uses these timeless techniques, really from the 1970s and 1980s of American comics. By the way, really good drawing of this fire for ink and pencils and inks, right? Because that's all manga is pencils and inks. So anyhow, that is the end of the chapter. 20 pages of high octane action right there. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the very next issue, since we basically resolved this much of this volume right here. But I'll take a look at it and think about it. I might actually move over to a couple issues to where Jonathan is learning from Zeppeli-san. Just because I think it's more interesting, and it kind of continues to develop this supernatural aspect of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is really the mainstay of this. Not necessarily the first two parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure they feel very different from the other parts, but they still have a lot of the fundamental feel of Araki's storytelling. But anyhow, that's it. That ends that very long confrontation between Dio and Jonathan Joestar. Yeah, let me know what you think. If you like the video, thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If you have any comments on this first early runs of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or this one issue, leave them down below, and I will see you next time.